Well, class, I want to take just a moment to speak with you about week three, the discussion post. What is truth? How do you define it? What are the implications of it? Why is it important? First of all, some good work this week, and I've tried to leave each of you comments that I hope you'll take some time to just read, digest, work through. I just want to just sort of wrap up this week because it's such an important topic. I often use three words when I'm defining truth. I think I have shared this with most of you. It's in the lecture as well. I typically will refer to the word reality. I'll always refer to the word absolute, objective. Many times I'll use the word immutable and unchanging as well. So now that we sort of worked through that, I want to come back and give just a little bit of a refined definition and then put that in context with uh, three other theories of truth. I want to say truth is reality as God defines it and reveals it. So, truth is reality. I'm coming now to that correspondence theory that we have talked about, but I'm taking the correspondence theory just a step further. The correspondence theory has a limitation. The correspondence theory is that which corresponds to reality, which is a great definition. It's a simple definition, it's accessible, and we agree with that as believers. The limitation is we don't really know what reality is. We don't know why it is. So this refined definition, now that we've worked through everybody's discussion, truth is, yes, reality, that which corresponds to reality as defined by God and revealed by God. I love this expression. And one of you, forgive me for not remembering off the top of my head who nailed it, but one of you this week recognized the fact that embedded in the word truth, aletheia, is the Greek word. Aletheia is the idea of unhiddenness. It's the idea of divine revelation. That's true now. Of course, the word had a journey, a theological journey it went through before it became referred to just divine revelation. Today, there's different words for truth. People could use the word episteme. Well, we get our word epistemology to refer to general truth, such as two plus two is four and things like this. So in the New Testament time frame, the Christian writers took this word aletheia, embedded into it the idea of divine revelation. So God is the one who defines reality. God is the one who sustains reality. And what is true is that which corresponds to the reality that God has created, God has designed, God has defined and sustained. So I want to throw this out to you. I also want to bring out, in case you're not aware, the Greek word aletheia has a Latin equivalent. So obviously in the New Testament world, the Bible was written in Greek, the New Testament. And then as the Roman Empire continued to expand quickly, copies are made in Latin, and Latin becomes the what's called the lingua franca, if you will, the official language of that world. And so the term aletheia, the Latin equivalent of that is the word veritas. And so we believe in truth here as evidenced by our name. So truth is objective, it's absolute, it's immutable and unchanging. We ground it in God's character. Truth is never invented, truth is revealed and discovered. I think we have mentioned these in the lectures. If not, they've all been sort of alluded to in different posts. You should be familiar with the three main ideas, theories of truth, the correspondence truth theory. So, truth is that which corresponds to reality. We've leaned heavily into that. The coherence theory of truth. Coherence is basically truth is that which logically and consistently fits within a system of beliefs. It's got value. It has merit. There's things that's great about it. Here's the weakness of it. A coherent system could still be false if it doesn't correspond to reality. So, for example, a well-constructed fantasy world like Narnia. or some other fantasy world like that would have its own systems of rules that work in that created environment, but it doesn't correspond to reality. Time travel films would be another thing that people like, okay, I see how they're doing this, but and it seems to make sense in their system, but unfortunately, reality, right? So coherence is strong in the sense that we believe God is not self-contradictory, and many of you even use the analogy that there is the law of non-contradiction. Coherence is weak in that it doesn't guarantee truth. We have to ground truth in reality that God defines and God sustains. The other theory that's prevalent today is the idea of pragmatic theory. I think we've all heard of this. In some of your posts, I used the word utilitarian when I responded to you. So, in a pragmatic view, we know something is true if it works, if it's useful. Um, Scientific models are helpful, they're true if they predict something successfully. Uh, it captures the practical side of truth. It brings truth down to where we live. But something can be useful, but not ultimately true. Uh, in medical world, we call this the placebo effect. You can look that up if you're not familiar with it. In other places, we have something that's founded upon a cultural myth that's great and helpful and it gives people identity, but it's not true. So from a Christian viewpoint, truth will always work, will always be useful in the deepest sense of that if we're living in line with God's reality. And living aligned to that reality will help us to lead a life that is flourishing, abundant, as Jesus promised. Truth is not true because it works. It works because it is true. So, truth, reality that's defined by God, sustained by God, revealed by God. It's grounded in his character. He makes known those specific revelatory truths that we need for all mankind for salvific purposes. It will correspond to reality. It will be consistent. It'll cohere because it's grounded in God. It will work because it is flowing from the character of God. So, some Christian thoughts here about truth. It's important that we define it before we engage in conversations, or we're going to get stuck into this world of, well, that's just your truth. I have my truth. You have your truth. My truth works for me. Maybe your truth works for you. What we see here is inconsistency. What we see here is the pragmatic view, which we sometimes see it fleshed out in postmodern view and postmodern view and all these thoughts. Anyway, rather than try to type all this out, I want to take 5, 10 minutes and just maybe share some highlights with you. Great work this week. Look forward to working through week 4 with you as well. All right, take care.